Let me talk at ya. I kind of like that instead of the old, so anyways, as my intro, let me talk at ya about something I've been thinking about. Nice and aggressive. So anyways, I just wanted to cover something briefly. This is, I have covered this before, but as is my style, I kind of start rambling, so I cover a couple different things, and it starts to get lost in the shuffle. So I wanted to make a quick little video just about this. So this is pure rock crawling. Cool little game about, you guessed it, crawling over some rocks and anything that gets in your way, some pipes too. But what I wanted to go over was, so you see up in that right corner, I'm in high gear. There's high gear and low gear. And what can be pretty cool is you can use an empty binding with turbo enabled in haptics to simulate rumble. So it's kind of a mouthful, but it's actually a really simple thing to do. That just adds in some, you know, it adds in a sense of immersion. Like, you're kind of creating your own rumble input. So I just made, you know, the Y button switches to low range. So I make a low range action layer. In this low range action layer, you know, I have the right trigger for the throttle. I just put in an empty binding. Hold, so hide that. I just put in an empty binding, turbo, set the repeat rate down a little bit. I mean, that's really depending on what you're doing, what you're using it for. You know, and then the Y button will switch the gear and remove the layer. So I just have, you know, Y button and remove the layer. On a release press, I put release press on both. So in practice, you know, I'm in high gear. I'm not feeling any haptics. Let's get that back up. Not feeling any haptics. I push Y. Now I'm feeling a thunk, 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 thunk. Just to let me know and give me a little bit of feedback, like, yeah, I'm in that low range gear. You know, we're in extreme crawling, so you're feeling the low range torque a little bit more. Oh! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Oh no! And then I push Y again, and it removes that layer, and I'm back to going fast with no haptics. And that's it. It's a cool, nice little thing to add in some feedback. Now, I mean, you could go really nuts with this. Like, I was thinking of, like in Euro Truck Simulator or American Truck Simulator, setting up a manual transmission profile where each gear would have different haptics. But that, I mean, that would be pretty involved. And clearly, like, you probably don't want haptics on all the time because it's going to be wearing out the battery. It'd be like having, you know, rumble in the controller non-stop. It's going to eat up the battery. But just for something like this, like, well, you know, I want to kick in the low gear. Low range is on, and I feel that little thunk, 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 thunk. Like, I might even want to time that out to be a little bit slower. But just to recap, it's a pretty simple thing using an empty binding with turbo haptic to emulate rumble feedback. I just created a separate action layer. In that action layer, I gave it an empty binding. On the empty binding, I put haptics to high and hold, I keep forgetting to turn that off, and hold for turbo. And I might take that down. I think it's from an older video where I mentioned this previously. It was a grip, and I was using it for sprint, or for a turbo. Like, you know you're in the turbo because you'll feel an empty turbo haptic. Just to let you know that you don't want to put the turbo on the boost button, or like for here, I wouldn't want to put it on the trigger because that's going to be firing and interrupting the input. I just want to feel the turbo, so I make an empty binding. I'm done talking at you. All right, I will see you around.